guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited. As we're missing our bottom, there we go. As it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw does go, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed everything on tonight's Raw. I didn't think there was much bad on the show, and I thought, hey, we had a pretty darn good show, if I do say so myself. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to do something really fast to try and go. There we go. All right. But yeah, overall, I thought Raw was really good. Fun main event. Had a really good match with LA Knight and Braun Breaker. We had other good matches as well on the show. Even Roxanne Perez and Nikki Bella was better than I expected. I'm almost there right now. Better than I expected. As we get you guys trickling in here to the live stream, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Googlebot, Applebot, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for 4 games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know we post new videos. That way you know we go live. And that way you know we post to the community tab. Also, if you want to help us out another way, you can hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emotes, and emojis that you can use in the live chat, and access to our graphics packages as well. Also, remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. I'm going to do something really fast because we're running glitchy. I know we're running glitchy. My computer's dying. I'm saving the money to get a new one. But let's see if lowering some settings does help out. As far as the Epic Game Store does go. And why is this all of a sudden freezing on me? As far as the Epic Game Store does go, a lot of things you can do there. You can buy a new game, you can buy an old game, you can claim a free game, or get bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys. When we talk about Fortnite, you may want to be getting into Fortnite this weekend, because starting this weekend, the next season of Fortnite, all Simpsons. Yeah, you heard me right. All the Simpsons. We're getting a full battle pass, more stuff in the store as well. You want to be Krusty the Clown? You can be Krusty the MFN Clown starting this weekend. Yeah, you heard me right. Krusty the Clown. Mo Sislak, Homer, Marge, Scratchy the Cat, Bart, Lisa, Ned Flanders, and his goddamn glider is his mustache? No. Yeah. Aw. Very cool. Very crazy. All of that. When buying any V-Bucks or anything for Fortnite, whether that's on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your phone, your tablet, anything, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, to support us at no extra cost. And man, I really don't know. Let me see something. I'm going to change some settings. We're going to do this on the fly, guys. We're going to try and make this stream run faster. I'm going to change a couple settings here. I'm going to put that to that. Put that to that. I'm going to put that to that. Let's see if that helps anything. Oh, already starting to, but we got to give it time to adjust to the new settings that we just set it to. So we'll see. We will see. And with that, Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, like I said, was a pretty good show. I enjoyed the show. It started off with Jey Uso making his way out to the ring in lovely Anaheim, California. I call it lovely. I love Anaheim. One of my favorite places in the world is in Anaheim. Good old Disneyland. If you could say, go anywhere on vacation, anywhere, where would you go? Like, money's not an option. I mean, yeah, Disney World would probably be the better choice, but I've never been. But I've been to Disneyland more times than I can count. And I love Disneyland. Well, Disneyland and California Adventure. And all what that encompasses. We got Galaxy's Edge. We got Cars Land. We got the Pixar Pier. San Francisco. So, yeah. I love Anaheim because two things. The Anaheim Angels, well, yes, you can call me Anaheim Angels. They're always going to be the Anaheim Angels to me. And Disneyland. Two great things from Anaheim. The vacant world titles on a podium. Jey Uso makes his way out to the ring. Jey does the running back. Excuse me. And Jey finally welcomes us to Monday Night Raw. Jey complained about having everybody in his ear. Jimmy, Roman, his mama, your mama. Didn't talk about his dad, who's always on his podcast. I don't like the way they're using my son. They're not giving my son a good title reign. They're not my son this. They're not my son that. Didn't mention old Kishi. Old Keish. Which, shout out. Kishi's had some health problems recently, so prayers for him. But before he can really say too much more other than saying I'm focused on the world title, cue up Cult of Personality, CM Punk makes his way out to the ring. Punk comes down and says he's got 4 letters, 1 word, Punk, as it says it on his jacket. He then says, quote, sorry for stealing your stuff, 4 letters, 1 word, Punk. Punk says that he's happy that Jey is finally listening to himself. It's no secret Punk and Jey are friends. And that makes it harder for Punk to have to face Jey on Saturday. When Punk mentioned Jey tossing Jimmy out of the Battle Royal last week, the crowd booed. And Punk admonished them for booing him since, well, it's the rules. Every man for himself. Eliminate everybody to become the winner. Jey did nothing wrong. Like they go back and forth and they're just talking, da-da-da-da-da. And Jey eventually says, screw you, Punk. Punk is trying to turn things around to make Uso the bad guy, he says. But Uso will show Punk who the best in the world is on Saturday night. Uso left. Punk looked longingly at the championship belt and was like, this belt's gonna be mine. So in the back, Dominic Mysterio was complaining about Adam Pearce making a number 1 contenders match tonight and basically told the other guys in Judgment Day, hey, what are we going to do about this number 1 contenders match? I don't want this to happen. This match can't happen. No. And they're like, yeah, you're on your own today, pal. You got us the title defense, and we didn't want to defend the title and this and that and so forth and hoop-de-hada. So, yeah. They're basically like, you made us defend our titles, and we lost. So, yeah, screw you. Where it's like, you're champions. Shouldn't you be proudly defending your titles? Not just, we're the champions, but we're never going to defend them? Yeah, okay. So Dom goes to walk off. He's on his phone. He's like, hey, I think I need some help tonight. And then Roxanne looks at Raquel and is like, should we go help him? She goes, no, we got our own things to worry about tonight. Esports Gaming Rules with the bit donation. He says, Honda Center has great WWE history as the home of the Ducks, which the original cast of the Mighty Ducks movie are still friends and fans of the fans due to its Disney connection. I got a connection to the Ducks. My cousin was a Ducks cheerleader for like 4 years. As early as, or as recent as like 2 years ago. She hasn't done it in the last 2 years. So when you're at least it's how it works in hockey. When you're a hockey cheerleader, and there's a special name for it, but I can't remember. You're on a 1-year deal. Every year you got to re-up. You got to say, hey, I want to come back and negotiate. You come back, whatever, this, that, so forth. But 2 years ago, she was like, I'm kind of over it. I did it for like 4 years. It was a lot of fun. But I don't know if I want to do it anymore. Because there's a lot of strict rules and stuff when doing so. As far as like, whatever hair color. This is one of the things she told me. Whatever hair color you have at the start of the season when they do like the calendar shoot and all the social media photo shoots and stuff. you kind of got to keep that same hair color because they got your render photo. They got your pics. And if you then look different at the game weeks later, that's not good. So, like, whatever look you come into the season with, you got to kind of keep it. And like one time she was blonde, or no, brunette, but wanted to dye her hair blonde or something like that. Or maybe the other way around. I can't remember. And they were like, nope, you're not allowed because it's in their contracts that, any kind of physical change that they can change on their own. So like if you just gain a little weight or something, they can't say anything about that. But it's a whole thing. So yeah, she hasn't done it in the last 2 years, but yeah, I got a connection to them old Mighty Ducks. I had a cousin that was a cheerleader for them for like 4 years. Great movie too. The sequel series on Disney Plus was just all right. The one with the mom from Gilmore Girls and Emilio Estevez only did 1 season of the 2-season show. It was all right. I watched season 1, actually liked it. Went to watch season 2, no Emilio Estevez. Still had, Lorelai Gilmore. But season 2 was just all right, and I fell off after a couple episodes. Do I go back? I don't know. The kid that was the main kid of that show, he's now on a brand new show that's hitting season 2 on ABC with old Tim Allen and Kat Denning. And that show's great. It's called Shifting Gears on ABC Wednesday nights. Not a plug, not a sponsor, but great show. You like Kat Denning? You like Tim Allen? Go watch this show. It's also got Sean William Scott. I always forget her name, but it's got the chick that played Dharma and Greg. Great cast. Great cast. Shifting Gears on ABC. The show O'Shea Jackson Jr., huge wrestling fan, got himself a podcast on the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. And they showed members of the LA Galaxy, the soccer team. And one of the guys was holding like a replica kids title women's world championship. Ooh, my voice. All kinds of scratched up. Esports Gaming Rule says, are you doing a Saturday Night's main event review? And I'm going to watch Tanahashi's final homecoming on NJPW World because this week is critical for WWE and NJPW to make a deal for Tanahashi to face Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom. So a couple of things there. The plan is to do a review of Saturday Night's main event if nothing comes up. Like, my weekend should be free Saturday night. We'll have to wait and see. Because I'm at work all the time throughout the week, some things that I would normally just do when I was always home gets shifted to the weekend. So hopefully I don't have anything on Saturday night that's going to hinder that. Whereas WWE and Nakamura, I don't know where you're saying this week's critical. Who has said that? There's a possibility it could be Nakamura as Shinsuke's or as Tanahashi's final opponent, but there's nothing that's anyone's reported that says like this week's the week it's got to get made. They can go down to the wire if they really wanted. And what if it's not even Nakamura? Never been Nakamura. Just saying. Would it be great if it's Nakamura? Oh, hell yeah. I'd love to see Nakamura one more time in New Japan, especially as Tanahashi's last opponent, because here would be the coolest thing. If he is Tanahashi's last opponent, that means he gets to be the great Tanahashi's last opponent, but that means he was also the great Muta's last opponent. Let's just make him everybody's last opponent. AJ Styles' last opponent should then be Nakamura. That would be freaking awesome. That would be awesome. Again, he was great Muta's last opponent. Let him be Tanahashi's last opponent. Then let him be AJ's last opponent. But the whole thing with all of that is, if New Japan were to get it done somehow, and WWE would agree to let Nakamura do it, and New Japan would be fine with it, do they upset AEW? That's the whole thing. But thank you for the bit donation. Remember, guys, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so on Twitch with the bit donations or on YouTube with a super chat or a super sticker. So moving forward, we had our first match of the night, which we're like 30, 40 minutes into this show already. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's Penta versus Rusev, #1 contendership. Winner gets a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. And then, well, shit finish. They just both get a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. There you go. This Saturday night's main event. The two are fighting back and forth, and it's pretty even early on. Penta knocked Rusev to the floor at one point and hit a tope con heel. Back in the ring, Penta hit a springboard tornado DDT for a near fall. Rusev dropped to the floor to regroup and caught Penta with a right hand when he followed him out. Back in the ring, Rusev squashed Penta in the corner with an avalanche dive. Penta then came back in with a backstabber for another near fall. There's a sliding drop kick that sent Rusev to the floor. Penta followed this up again, but this time Rusev flapjacked him into the post. After a commercial, Rusev went after Penta's mask, but Penta jumped into a bear hug, but then fought his way out of it. Penta then dodged a charge in the corner and caught him with a corner handstand kick. You got a close near fall off of this. Penta at one point then dove into a super kick from Rusev for a near fall. Rusev went for the accolade, and Penta countered into a Penta driver for a very close near fall. You hear somebody in the crowd go, "Ref, you suck!" Rusev and Penta then fought before, well, Rayo and Bravo Americano, along with old Daddy El Grande Americano, would hit the ring. And I had a thought here, which I'm surprised I had this thought this week and hadn't had it previous weeks. Was this not supposed to be Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne? Were Rayo and Bravo eventually supposed to just be the Creeds? Was it supposed to be American Made just turning into the Americanos? That's a question that I would like to get answered. If Chad Gable never got hurt and he remained as El Grande Americano, would the Creed brothers then have become Rayo and Bravo? And then what about, what's her name? Ivy Nile. What would she have become? Would she have become a masked Americano as well? The big looming question. The world may never know. The match ends. No contest, no winner, double DQ, I guess you would say. Well, not really, but no contest. So they dump Rusev, they dump Penta. They're celebrating in the ring, and then Rusev does the old rise from the ashes spot on the apron. He gets in the ring and he clears the ring. Penta then comes in and clears out El Grande Americano, and there we go. They then stand off because Penta's yelling at the Americanos on the apron. Then he can feel Rusev behind him, so he turns around all ready to fight, and they just kind of stand off. 10-minute match, 10 minutes almost to the spot. 10 minutes and 1 second. The shit finish. Then we go to the back with Jackie Redmond and LA Knight. Basically, LA Knight says he should have won the Battle Royal. He doesn't care who wins on Saturday, whether that's CM Punk or Jey Uso, but just know he's coming for the winner. He is coming after the World Heavyweight Championship. Then Jackie can interview him with that big old belt around his waist. Yeah. Braun Breaker's in the back. He's with Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed. Braun Breaker still didn't understand why he and Reed were not in that Battle Royal, or why Paul didn't just let them go down there and beat everybody's ass in that Battle Royal. Like he couldn't do it. Paul says, that's not something we need to worry about. Paul's answer was that is 20 less than 1. If Braun takes out one guy who was in the way of getting his next shot, cool. He doesn't need to worry about a bunch of other guys. Just one. Whoever wins this belt on Saturday. Braun's path to the world title is very clear. And tonight, you're going to make it even more clear when you take on L.A. Knight. So basically, he's like, yeah, why would you want to worry about 20 guys? Let them battle it out. Let them figure it out. Then we got one guy that thinks that he's going to become the next number one contender. It's LA Knight. You beat his ass, he's no longer in line. You're next in line. Basically saying that LA Knight and Braun Breaker right now are on even footing as far as wanting to challenge for the belt. So take out the guy that can stake a claim so you can stake your claim. Then we get a video just highlighting Asuka's entire career of WWE. 10 decades of dominance. To showing that she's a 5-time women's world champion. She had a 900-plus day undefeated streak, going from NXT to the main roster. She won the Royal Rumble. She won Money in the Bank. She won Elimination Chamber. And to be completely honest, other than Charlotte and her 14 title wins, Asuka's actually the most decorated female superstar in all WWE history. If you take out Charlotte's 14 title wins, Asuka's actually the most successful woman in all of WWE history. Like, yeah, you could say Charlotte is just because she's got the 14 world title wins or whatever you want to say. But, cool. And for some reason, I just lost the live chat on YouTube. Let me refresh this. Give me 1 second, guys. Excuse me, I got this cough that just will not go away. Why won't the live chat come back up? I see the stream, but I don't see the chat. Oh, here we go now. Oh, because I didn't have it full screened. All right, we're good now. We're good now. So JD McDonough, well, actually, Adam Pearce is on the phone, and he's talking to somebody. He goes, "Yeah, I can make that official. We'll get that official right away." I don't know exactly what he's talking about, but Judgment Day barge in. JD McDonough and Finn Balor, and they're like, "Hey, we want a rematch for the tag titles." JD's like, "We want it tonight," and Pearce is like, "Excuse me," and Finn's like, "What he means is we would like to know when we're getting our rematch for the World Tag Team Championships. If it can be tonight, that would be great." And Pearce just looks at him and goes, "It can't be tonight. You guys are busy." And Finn's like, "Wait, what? Busy with what? What do you mean busy?" He's like, "Yeah, you guys got eliminated from the Battle Royal last week, then jumped back in and illegally eliminated somebody. That's somebody, Sheamus. And he came to me earlier today and wanted to fight one of you. So you two figure it out, but one of you are facing Sheamus tonight." And Finn's got this look on his face like, "Oh, heck no." And JD goes, "I'll do it. Yeah, I'll fight Sheamus. I'm not afraid of it. Let's go." And Finn's like, "All right, that's my boy. Yeah, okay." And so there we go. He also says, "Where's Dom?" They say, "I don't know." He goes, "Well, I got some stuff to tell with Dom." So I guess that what he was on the phone with is making the triple threat, I guess. I don't know. So sets up JD McDonough, Sheamus. Then we go into Nikki Bella versus Roxanne Perez. Again, match that was better than I expected. I don't know if you guys have seen the clip going around all week, but basically 10 years ago, Roxanne Perez met Nikki Bella, said that Nikki Bella was her role model, and that, well, one day they would share the ring together. And that day was tonight. And they played it up in commentary, especially Wade Barrett, talking about how, back in the day, Roxanne Perez, when she was an aspiring young woman wanting to become a pro wrestler, she was learning things by watching Nikki Bella matches, studying Nikki Bella. So in theory, she should know just about everything in Nikki Bella's playbook, which could be bad for Nikki Bella. So early on the match, the bell rings and Roxanne Perez goes over and she starts bowing to Nikki Bella, and then she gets her hand out for the handshake, but Nikki ain't having it. She slaps it away. So boom, Roxanne slaps Roxanne slaps Nikki. Nikki don't like that. She comes back over and boom, slaps Roxanne to where Roxanne crumbles, stumbles to get to her feet. Referee Jessica Carr's looking at her like, "Oh shit, are you okay?" She's like, say something to the back on the IBF. And we are away. And these two had a pretty well match, like a pretty good match. Like nothing. The one thing I could say about this match is it went long to where within the last 3 minutes of the match, I was so bored that, if I wasn't writing notes, I probably would have dozed off. The last 3 minutes was pretty boring. I felt like this match went just a little too long. So they're fighting, going at it. Even early on, Perez then dropped to the floor after a face buster, and Bella tossed her around ringside. Back in the ring, Rodriguez snapped Bella's neck against the ring ropes, while Perez distracted the referee. Bella then gave Perez nothing during the opening few minutes. After a commercial break, Perez hit a running uppercut on Bella. Perez then cranked away at Bella's neck. Commentary played this up like, "Oh, she knows Nikki's got a bad neck. She's playing up to the things that she knows about Nikki Bella." Perez then went after the back of Nikki Bella, her neck, her forearm, her shoulders. She was just all kinds of different things. Then goes for the pin, only gets like a 2 off of it. Then she does some push-ups. little taunt to the former Divas champion. But Bella eventually does get a comeback here. She runs the ropes, knocks down Perez, grabs her for the Rack Attack 2.0, but Perez counters into a sleeper hold. Bella escapes that, and Perez tripped her up into the ropes. Bella then hit a spine buster for a near fall. Raquel Rodriguez then jumped up on the apron to cause the distraction, so Bella knocked her down. Perez caught Bella with a cradle for a 2. As it come down to the closing moments of the match, Bella went for a charge in the corner, but Perez ducked, and Bella hit the middle buckle, jamming her neck right into it. Perez then goes and hits the pop rocks and pins her 1, 2, 3. So there we go. Afterwards, Raquel gets in the ring. They double team Nikki Bella. Out comes the Women's World Champion, Stephanie McKeer. So everybody, oh my God, is she hurt? Is she injured? She was limping last week. She's fine tonight. She's good to go. So they clear the ring, but then Raquel gets back in the ring, and Raquel looks like a monster compared to both Nikki and Stephanie. So Stephanie steps up to Raquel, and like Stephanie's, hold on. Say Shawn Michaels is Stephanie. Daniel Bryan, no, that's not Daniel Bryan. I thought I grabbed Daniel Bryan. Sami Zayn is Raquel. So like Stephanie is this height. Raquel was like this on her. Like that was the height difference that it looked like. And they're like, and then Nikki comes over. She's the same height as freaking Stephanie. And they're just like looking up at Raquel. And Raquel just walks around them like, yeah, I ain't gonna worry about you chicas right now. But they made their height made Raquel look like a big old monster, like tall as shit. So in the back, Bayley comes up to the ladder. Well, first off, actually, I didn't write this part down, but key. Lyra's in the back. She walks into the Kabuki Warriors. They're all pissed off saying, hey, why are you getting a shot at the tag titles? We said we want a shot at the tag titles. Don't jump the line. You guys didn't earn it or deserve anything. And Lyra goes, hey, I didn't ask for this match. Bayley set it up. Don't be mad at me. Somehow Bayley got it. And Asuka's all pissed off. She walks off and Kyrie's like, oh, you better watch out. And she's like, Kyrie. And she's like, oh, I gotta go. She runs off. Basically, she's like, you don't want to piss off Asuka. Because Vera did. Then Bayley shows up and Bayley's like, hey, you ready? Huh? And like Bayley's got this purple mesh jacket on. She goes, I got you one too. And they got matching jackets. And they're all talking. And Lyra's like, what's going on? Like Lyra's just confused how this match is even happening. And Bayley's like, you don't want to do it? She's like, well, I've never been in the ring with Charlotte or Alexa before. This is a big deal. She's like, oh, yeah, you've never been. Oh, what happens if we don't win? And Lyra kind of looks at Bayley and goes, no, wrong mentality. What happens when we win? And Bayley's like, oh yeah, that's my girl. So the new thing is Bayley doesn't, I don't know. The split personality now is not Bayley going from babyface to heel. It's going from confident to, uh-oh, I have no confidence. That's the new split personality. Instead of good to bad, it's confident to no confidence. Confident to no confidence. Weird, but okay. Lyra's got to be the cheerleader. Then we get the first of two Uso segments. Jimmy's yelling at Jay for following the rules of a battle royal. He said, hey, we had a plan. It was you and me watching each other's backs. And then when it's us in the final two, then it's you versus me one-on-one. And Jay's trying to say, hey, I was just trying to push out LA Knight and you were there and you got in the way and da-da-da. He's like, I don't want to hear it. No, that ain't no. And like Jimmy's all pissed off at him and he's like, I don't need no excuses and blah, blah, blah. And he just storms off. So yeah, I don't know. Basically, it was Jay tried to say I was only trying to eliminate LA Knight, but you were also there on the apron. And when I pushed him, he knocked me back over into you and this and that. And Jimmy's like, I don't believe it. And yeah. Let's make it of LA Knight. We have Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. Pretty good match. Crowd was up and down for the night. I wouldn't call them a great crowd. I wouldn't call them a bad crowd. They were just an average kind of their crowd. But when LA Knight's music hit, whew, pop for LA Knight. So LA Knight made his way down to the ring. Fan in the front row on the aisle way had a sign that said, "We want LA Knight, not Jay." So he held that up. Wade Barrett laid out the stakes here, saying, quote, "Whoever loses, it won't be in line for the title shot." Basically saying that this is kind of a number one contenders match without officially being a number one contenders match, because basically these are, other than CM Punk and Jey Uso, the top two male athletes on Raw. And so whoever comes out victorious here will just be one step ahead of the other, which should be able to stake a claim to that world title. Those two kind of jaw jack early on. Not much happens. And then Braun eventually takes out Knight with the clothesline. Braun legitimately looked like... No, Braun got taken down with the clothesline, and he looked like he got knocked crap out for a second, because he was like a little woozily, but not like fully like out of it. So this is weird. Looked like, blurred out a little bit. Knight then comes back and hits a crossbody. Breaker then buried a knee in his midsection. Knight caught Braun with some left hands. Then there's some stomps in the corner as well. Knight then hit Braun with a drop kick to the floor, heading into a commercial break. After the break, though, Braun was in control, hitting an avalanche knee. Also, speaking of the commercial breaks, because again, I watch on Netflix internationally with the VPN and all that jazz. And before, and I noticed this last week too, and I didn't bring it up. Before, whenever they go to commercial, you would know they're in commercial because in the top left corner, right corner, whatever you want, I think it's the right corner, top right corner, there'd be like a timer. This is break or back in 1 minute and 30 seconds, minute and 20 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever it is. Last 2 weeks, they haven't had that. And so it's like, from watching so much of the international Netflix, we know what kinds of things, especially like non-matches, what kinds of things they put in the break. So it's like, oh, when we see Byron Saxton from The Perch doing an interview, that's a break. But sometimes if you don't pay enough attention, you still think they're in the match, on TV, not in a break, because they don't have that timer up there anymore to tell you they're in break. Kind of weird. But after the break, Knight fought his way out of a chin lock and hit a flying clothesline of his own. Knight then caught Breaker with a jumping neck breaker, pop-up power slam, jumping elbow. Knight went for the BFT. Breaker escaped and hit Knight with a knee. Breaker then went for a top rope Frankensteiner, but Knight slipped off the buckle and fucking took an ugly tumble down. Even Paul Heyman was like, oh, shit. Bronson Reed on the other side looking on, going, oh, is he okay? Is he okay? This was a bad tumble. Like, just fell right on the back of his head from the top rope. Just straight down. But he was good. Old boy doing all of his stuff. Knight set up Breaker for a superplex. Braun pushed him down. Knight then ran up the ropes and hit the superplex anyways. Knight then went for a BFT again, but Breaker escaped. Bronson Reed then distracted Knight, giving Breaker the opening for a spear. But Knight ducked, and Braun went to the floor. Knight then went after Reed, and then sent Breaker headfirst into the announce table as we go to a commercial break. After the break, Breaker tried for a gorilla press slam, and LA Knight's 240, 250 easy. Braun Breaker's grabbing this man, boom, boom, just throwing him up. Just boom, like he's nothing. This guy is strong as shit. He's just throwing twice. He just grabs LA Knight, boom, boom, boom. Just throws him up over his head like he's nothing. Wild strength. But Knight escaped, hit a reverse DDT. Knight went for an elbow, but Braun Breaker kicked up as Knight jumped. Knight then rolled through, jumped up, and ran into a spear from Breaker, who got the pinfall 1, 2, 3, picking up the victory. On a 13.5-minute match, Braun Breaker does get the win, and of course, well, LA Knight's got to be the fall guy once again. So we go to the back, we see Adam Pearce, and he just goes, Dom, hey, Dom, I need to talk to you. He finds Dominic. He's like, hey, Dom's over here talking to the Americano family. And he's like, hey, what's all this going on? Dom's like, oh, it's nothing, don't worry about it. He's like, what was all that out there? I don't know, they did what they were going to do. He's like, well, we didn't have a winner. So you know what we're going to do about that? This Saturday, you will be defending your Intercontinental Championship at Saturday night's main event against Rusev and Penta. Dom's all mad and pissed off. He's like, what? No. He's like, and it's official. So Jay then confronted Jimmy about winning the Battle Royal. And then they just seemed cool. After Jimmy was all pissed off and yelling at him about an hour, 45 minutes earlier, they just cool. Okay, then. Then we had JD McDonough versus Sheamus. This was a really good match. This was great. JD McDonough is like the perfect all-around wrestler. Not only is he great for the babyface to throw around, like especially the bigger babyface to throw around. His selling is amazing. You go, oh, he's a good bump guy. He's a good, take the moves from the babyface, make the babyface look good. Da-da. But then JD's offense is also just perfect. See a lot of guys that, they can take moves well, but then their offense looks lackluster, average at best. Or they can do all these good flashy moves, but they're not good at taking moves and making the opponent look good. JD, good at all of it. He's getting better every week on promos, and it's not like he's bad on promos or been bad on promos, but the more and more, I've noticed this, the more and more JD McDonough is on the main roster, maybe it's just having Finn there next to him, his confidence grows every single week, every month. You just see him, and he's just more and more coming into his own. And he's just got it all. He's really good backstage. He's really good in the ring. He knows how to do the little things between the moves, whether that is, doing a cool move and then kind of selling it, but then knowing, I got to get on my opponent because, this, that, and whatnot, or, bumping for the babyface to make the babyface look good and selling their moves really well and getting beat up really well. He's just really freaking great. He's one of those guys that everyone should want to have a match with, because regardless of who you are, he's going to make you look probably better than you've ever looked. Or at least up there at the best you've ever looked. And again, he fucking hit Sheamus, 280 Sheamus, with a goddamn Spanish fly off the top rope. Who would have thought? They go to the top rope and I go, oh, Sheamus is pushing him off. There's no way he's going to, what? When Sheamus flipped for that Spanish fly, I was mind boggled. Like, no way Sheamus is hitting that front flip for a Spanish fly. No way. And not even like a bad looking one. Like, it looked like a perfect Spanish fly. Never seen that from Sheamus. JD McDonough got it out of him. As far as the match does go, Sheamus is brutalizing JD early on in the match. Finn at ringside, nobody else there. Sheamus backdropped JD so high that I think his ears popped. Like, elevation change, he goes up so high. McDonough clipped Sheamus' leg and got a brief advantage, but JD turned his back on Sheamus and got clotheslined to the floor. On the floor, Sheamus and Balor had a stare down. Back in the ring, McDonough hit a slingshot spinning splash for barely a 1 count. Sheamus then set up McDonough for the forearms of one, beats the Bowdrin, but Finn pulled JD to the floor. Sheamus then hit both Finn and JD with a clothesline on the floor. After a commercial break, McDonough was in control of the chinlock. Sheamus got to his feet and managed to send both him and JD to the floor. He kind of tumbled over the top rope. McDonough then caught Sheamus with a Asai moonsault on the floor. Back in the ring, McDonough hit a 450 splash for a near fall. At one point, Sheamus floored JD with a pair of clotheslines and an Irish curse backbreaker. McDonough escaped the 10 beats of the Bowdrin again and caught Sheamus with the cradle for a 2. Sheamus then went for a brogue kick. McDonough caught him with a knee. Sheamus then gave McDonough a crucifix bomb. Finn put McDonough on his feet, but Finn jumped. This was preposterous. So the referee's counting 1, 2. His hand's going up for the 3. Finn jumps up on the rope, but like slides under on the apron, but slides under the bottom rope, grabs JD's leg and puts it on the apron or on the bottom rope. And the ref somehow sees it. Sees, again, go to the toys for the visualization. How the ref sees this, I don't fucking know. Sheamus, JD. Sheamus is going for the pin, right? Referee is over here. But actually, I should do it this way so you guys can see it like I'm seeing it. Referee's back here, right? Finn then jumps up, grabs JD's leg, puts it up on the ropes. Doesn't see. How can the ref see over Sheamus and JD? Sees the foot up there. Doesn't see Finn jump up under the rope, grab the foot, and put it. Preposterous. Poppycock. How the hell does he see as he's looking? 1, 2. This ref is looking right at the shoulders of JD to see if JD's going to kick out there. Doesn't see Finn jump up at the shoulders, slide across the apron under the bottom rope, grab the foot, put it on the thing. What? But he sees the foot all of a sudden? I get it. The ref knows the spot. The ref knows what he's supposed to do. But if we're trying to think of this as real, preposterous that he didn't see Finn, but saw the foot go up there before his hand comes down for a 3 barely. Like he was down there at like 3.7. Like, here's the mat. His hand was here when foot. It wasn't like a 1, 2 foot. It was 1, 2 foot. So, yeah. Yeah. I just lost my spot in my notes. Sheamus then dropped to the floor and gave Finn a big boot for his troubles. McDonough then dove through the ropes. Kind of got it, but didn't get it. Sheamus then cut him off, dropped him on the announce table, threw him back in the ring. The referee's now checking on JD in the middle of the ring. Sheamus goes to the top rope. Finn's got the shillelagh in hand, jumps up on the apron, boom! Slaps him right in the back with the goddamn shillelagh. JD then goes up, hits that big-ass Spanish fly, and pins Sheamus 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Kenny McDonough picks up the big win over the Celtic Warrior. Are you glazing for JD? The men have no character yet. Actually, JD's great. For you to say he's got no character tells me that you either don't pay attention or know how this business works. So, yeah. What do you want him to be? A plumber? A garbage man? A dumpster drosy? Character? No, he's freaking just JD McDonough, a cool guy from Ireland that's known Finn Balor for all of his professional life. In wrestling, we like just the guys, the people. You don't have to have a gimmick, a character anymore. You don't got to be a freaking repo man. You don't got to be a plumber, a mastodon, whatever. Clown. He's JD McDonough. The guy got a group, kind of thugs, but they're not really thugs anymore. They were thugs at one point, but now they're just a group of people that work together and get along, and he's just a cool guy. Like, what is Sheamus's character? I'm a big Irish man. What's JD's character? I'm an average-sized Irish man with a big head, and I utilize that big head to headbutt people and knock them out sometimes. And I'm a great wrestler. That's like saying, what's Will Ospreay's character? I do flashy moves and say, bruv. What's up, bruv? Like, come on, guy. So Adam Pearce is talking to Maxime Dupree, and he goes, I'm very impressed. You beat the women's Intercontinental Champion twice. You know what that means? You deserve a shot at the title. And I go, bro, she had one. And yeah, she won by DQ, but huh? And she's like, Adam, thank you. He's like, so when do you want to do it? She's like, well, not yet. I need to call somebody and have them help me to make sure that, I'm really prepared this time for anything that Becky's going to throw at me. He goes, okay. So it's official. Eventually, when you're ready, you let me know. What? You beat Becky twice, so you should get a shot. Well, she did get a shot. And yeah, she lost by DQ, but also she didn't win. Technically, she did, but didn't. She didn't beat Becky. This was, again, preposterous. Dumb. Jackie Redmond then interviews the women's women's tag team champions, not Intercontinental champion. Becky wasn't there. Women's tag team champions, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. They talk about how they are 2 title wins away, or successful defenses away from most defenses of any teams in history. And I'm like, that's a thing? Because have barely been the champions for like 3-4 months. Holy crap. So Kabuki Warriors come up and they're like, hey, why are you defending against Bailey and Lyra? And every time Asuka says Lyra, it sounds like she says liar. She goes, we the ones that said we wanted a title shot. They're going to jump the line and we could beat you anyways. And Charlotte goes, Asuka, do I need to beat you again? I've beaten you a bunch of times. She's like, oh, no, I've beaten you too. You're not ready for me. You ain't ready for Asuka. Basically, it's like Asuka's pissed because they laid stake to a challenge a week ago. Bailey goes on Twitter and Instagram on Friday, and all of a sudden they get a title shot. So yeah, I get why Asuka's pissed the fuck off. I would be too. If I said I want a title shot, and then random Bailey goes on Twitter and says, I want a title shot. There we go. Basically setting up, we knew this was going to happen. Basically, it's setting up a main event. They're either going to interrupt the match, or they're going to come out at the end and beat ass. So AJ Styles and Dragon Lee were backstage with Adam Pearce. Finn Balor and JD McDonough interrupt and go, hey, so title match, rematch, I beat Sheamus, let's go. And they're kind of like, Pearce is like, hey, that's not the way to go about this. No, you don't just demand. And Dragon Lee's basically like, you want to do it? Screw it. We'll take them on. We'll defend against them. We beat them once. Why can't we beat them again? And AJ's like, you know what? All right, let's do it. And Pearce goes, well, if that's what you want. Sure. Next week, tag titles on the line. So 2 tag team matches were announced for next week's show. Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vicaire versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez in the tag titles. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee against JD McDonough and Finn Balor. And this leads us to our main event. Women's tag titles on the line. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defending against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. So Bliss and Bayley start things off. Charlotte got the blind tag and caught Bayley with a clothesline. Bliss got the tag again and took Bayley down with a head scissors. Lyra and Charlotte got a little face off. Lyra and Charlotte exchanged arm ringers and creative escapes of the arm ringers and whatnot. Valkyria then set Flair to the floor, followed her out there with a drop kick through the ropes. After a commercial break, Valkyria was tying up Bliss in a submission hold, transitioned into a seatbelt cradle, got a near fall off of it. Flair got the hot tag and came off the top with the crossbody. Flair chopped away at Bayley and Valkyria. Flair hit a cartwheel clothesline. Flair delivered a pair of follow-away slams, one to each opponent, and then hit them both with a moonsault. Charlotte went for the cover on Lyra, but she got her shoulder up at 2. At one point, Charlotte caught Bayley with a big boot to the face. Bliss got the blind tag. Lyra got the tag, and they ran into each other with Lyra getting caught in a Sister Abigail DDT from Bliss for a 2, but Bayley made the save. Bayley and Charlotte then fought on the floor. Bliss came off the top with the crossbody on Lyra, but she caught her and turned her into a Nightwing for another near fall, with Charlotte making the save. Charlotte and Bayley then got tagged in, and Bayley hit a Thez press. Bayley and Charlotte then brawled until Charlotte floored Bayley with a big boot. Charlotte then locked in the figure 8. Bayley was right there about to tap out, and Lyra jumps in and grabs her arm. Says, you're not tapping. But Bayley's other arm's still kind of flailing. Why can't she tap the other arm? The other arm is not the tap arm. You got to have your dominant right arm. I don't fucking get it. Anyways, she's like, you're not tapping Bayley. All of a sudden, Alexa comes off with a Twisted Bliss off the top rope. She hits Lyra with a Twisted Bliss, and everybody just crumbles down. Charlotte falls out of the figure 8. They're all down. Crowd's going crazy at this point. Charlotte and Bliss then gave each other a nod, like, let's go. They hit that twin the twin double natural selections, one on each opponent. Charlotte then goes for the pin on Bayley, and boom, retain the titles. I thought this was a freaking great match. I thought these 4 worked their asses off and had a hell of a main event tag title match. This match was awesome. The match is over. It's about 14 and a half minutes. And they're all there. The Kabuki Warriors run out, and they attack the champions. Asuka held Flair open for an insane elbow. Kabuki Warriors then went after Lyra as well, but Bayley stood in front of them and stood them down. Kabuki Warriors then backed away, while Bayley tended to Lyra, and the tag champs sold their hurtness, I guess you would say, on the floor. as the last shot we get is the Kabuki Warriors, all kinds of happy with themselves and what they just done. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we're going to get Charlotte and Alexa defending against the Kabuki Warriors. If it was me, I'd take them titles and switch them. Kabuki Warriors should be the tag champions. 100%. With that, guys, that was Monday Night Raw. That was everything that did take place tonight on Raw. As far as all that does go, you know what I thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw as we go and check the polls. Let's refresh all of these. As far as the Threads poll does go, and I didn't do a Twitch poll, my bad. As far as the Threads poll does go, 57% liked the show, 40% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter poll, if it wants to load. It's not wanting to load. Let me do it from my phone then. Using on my browser, it's not wanting to load. Okay, Twitter. Don't want to load. I'll get you to load here. 65% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 18% didn't like it. Looking at the community poll. And I clicked the wrong button. There we go. Looking at the community poll. Man, this is loading slow. My computer really sucks. 77% liked the show, 15% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. And finally, the live poll, 76% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. With that, guys, that is everything. It was a nice Monday Night Raw. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live on Wednesday for our AEW Dynamite / Spider-Man 2 playthrough. So have a great time. Have a great week. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.